Okay guys, in today's video we have some very interesting Xbox related information to go over that I am a little bit bothered by. I'm not going to be ranting or anything, or at least I'm going to try not to rant in this video, but I feel as though this has to be some kind of mistake, and I've been waiting for some type of confirmation or follow-up to this, and maybe we will still get one, because this just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I mean, it does make sense generally speaking, but considering what we've been talking about for a while here, it's kind of there's just no way that they're talking about this right now, or there has to be some type of miscommunication, because I just don't see this being something that Xbox, even if it is true, I don't see it being something that they're willing to openly talk about right now, because it completely, and I mean completely, goes against everything that they have been saying. And this is where, when people get upset with me with what I have to say about Xbox, well, first of all, I don't care. Second of all, it's things like this that really, in my opinion, prove that I am right with what I'm saying. People can get as defensive as they want. I'm going to be critical where I need to be critical, and if Xbox executives weren't out here saying these things, I wouldn't have to point them out. And this one in particular, I really have to point out, because let me just tell you this. I don't believe this. I literally don't believe this. Insert Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you meme. I don't believe this. There's just no way. This has to be a miscommunication. But I have yet to see anybody denying it. In fact, I'm just seeing more and more articles written up about it. So I'm going to take some time here to talk about it, and I'm going to be really interested to see what you guys have to think about this. Even you Xbox fans, even the guys who can't stand me, I really want to know your opinion on this. Be sure to share it down below after we go over it. It says here that Xbox is in early talks to make exclusive games for Xcloud streaming. Xbox is preparing to make some games exclusively for its Project Xcloud streaming service, but will probably need to wait a while before we hear more about them. The company's previous announcements positioned Xcloud as a bridge to let people play their existing Xbox games anywhere, rather than a gaming destination as its own. However, Xcloud head Kareem Choudhry revealed in an interview at X19 that Microsoft plans to expand its scope. In terms of Project Xcloud exclusives, we're in early talks with first and third parties, but we don't have any announcements to share, Choudhry said. In this case, first parties would likely mean the many developers under the Xbox Game Studios umbrella, which opens up the possibility for all kinds of studios to create games for the service. If Microsoft ever plans to put Xcloud forward as its own gaming solution, that could do a lot to set it apart from services like Google Stadia, which is also working on its own first-party games, but is building its internal studios from the ground up at the same time. Choudhry made sure to reiterate that the first priority for Xcloud is just lifting and shifting content that doesn't require any development changes into the cloud, letting it run any given Xbox game. Changes on the development end will allow games to tell if they're being run on the cloud or on the local device, which could let them optimize themselves by changing their font size, network encode, and other considerations. So yeah, that's the full extent of the details there. Apparently, Kareem Choudhry from Xbox, he's the guy I believe that is currently in charge of Xcloud or leading that initiative. He has come out here, and unless, again, I am fully expecting somebody from Microsoft or somebody to come out here and correct this or retract that statement, or we're going to find out that he was misquoted or something. But as of right now, it seems that this is what he is quoted with saying. And I'm sure most of you, even you Xbox fans, have to be scratching your heads right now, because this makes no sense. One of the biggest things that not just me, not even just PlayStation fans, right, but Xbox fans themselves, and as a former Xbox fan myself, I can confirm this, one of the things that we have had a big problem with is Microsoft completely seemingly shifting their focus away from prioritizing the console. And eventually, there was a divide that was created. There was people like me who were just like, you know what, I'm not really enjoying this anymore. They're going in a direction that I'm not really a big fan of, so I'm going to go somewhere else and really stop paying as close attention to it. And then there's other people who are like, okay, whatever, I guess this is the direction that Microsoft wants to go in. They want to be more open. They want to, give us more options and all this stuff that, people who've accepted it, they see it as a good thing, which there's nothing wrong with that. I will admit that at this point in time, if you're somebody who's all on board with what Xbox is doing, fine. I know I've been very harsh on them. I know I've even said things as far as, don't support them or anything, but everybody's free to do what they want. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't really care that much at the end of the day, but this, to me, like, Microsoft needs to come out here and clarify what exactly they're saying here, because if they stand by this comment that this individual made at Xbox and they really meant what they said here, I mean, am I the only one that sees the hypocrisy here, where you're telling me that you won't make your games exclusive anymore to the Xbox console? You will not give your Xbox console, the Xbox, you will not give the Xbox a single exclusive game anymore. And your reasoning you give is because you want it to be more open, you want to be able to give gamers as many choices as possible, you want things to be less closed off, you're not focused on being a walled off garden anymore, and that's all fine, well and good, and then you expand your games to PC, and now you're focusing on other devices, and you're focusing on xCloud and all this stuff, and that's fine, right? Like, that's fine, but then you're going to come out here and have somebody from Xbox confirm that that Project Xcloud exclusives are something that are currently in talks, that it's something you guys are pursuing. That literally goes against everything you've been saying. And this is why, people, this is why when I say do not support Microsoft's future vision, that's why I say those things. Do I get a little bit extreme about it? Of course I do. People get really upset at me. I get it. There are times where I do sound a little bit whiny, but I feel like you guys, even the most hardcore Xbox fans here, you have to be able to see the hypocrisy in this. I mean, I would honestly, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, I'm genuinely wondering, like, are there any Xbox fans listening to this who think this is a good thing, or who can see this as a positive thing? Because if so, please tell me why down below in the comments, and I will be sure to read it and hear your opinion, because I'm not seeing anything good about this. It's one thing if Microsoft wants to pursue Project Xcloud as a secondary thing, which, based off of everything they've been saying so far, it kind of sounded like that's what they were planning on doing, right? Where it's like they're just focused, and, to Kareem Choudhry's credit here, he did confirm that they are still focused right now on just elevating the service and trying to get it off the ground and running smoothly, which is good. But I thought that this was just going to be like a secondary thing, and even if it does remain a secondary thing, there's no reason why anybody over there at Xbox should be considering Project Xcloud exclusives. I mean, it's bad enough that as of right now there are some games that Microsoft is putting exclusively on PC and not Xbox. Granted, it's a small amount, but it still exists, and it does need to be highlighted, okay? And now you're going to tell me that they are going to create exclusive content, exclusive games for Project Xcloud, and still not their own console. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Now, if I was somebody who didn't care about console gaming, then fine. Why should I care? Why would I care? I wouldn't. If I didn't care about console gaming at all, I literally probably wouldn't even be paying any attention to what Xbox is doing. But the only reason I do is because they still are creating a console, and as far as I'm concerned, as somebody who does care about the console space, it's my preferred way to game. It's how I enjoy playing games, and I am passionate about it. I grew up with it. I want to see it remain relevant. I want to see it continue on strong. Xbox, as long as they're making a console, is part of that, and hearing things like this is the literal opposite of what anybody, I think, who cares about console gaming wants to hear, because now what Microsoft is essentially saying, we don't care if our console becomes a little bit less relevant because we want to put our games on other platforms. Fine. But now they're saying, instead what we want to do is make other platforms more relevant than our Xbox console. Granted, it is in the same ecosystem, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not worried about Microsoft's ecosystem as a whole, because as I've expressed many times, there are many parts and many aspects of their ecosystem that I'm just not interested in. The only part of it that I truly care about most at the end of the day is the console space, and I just want to see it treated fairly, and that's really all it comes down to. And it's clear that they're not doing that, and now they're going as far as to say that they're going to actually try to prioritize their other aspect of the ecosystem, that being Project Xcloud, the streaming aspect. And guys, when I told you that Microsoft is focused, they said it themselves, Phil Spencer even I don't even know if it was Phil Spencer, but somebody at Xbox during the recent X019 event when they were on stage mentioned something about the 2.6 billion phones and tablets that are out there in the world, and that they're trying to make everybody and their mother a gamer. That's what they're focused on. That is their bigger picture thinking, and as a near $1 trillion company, I don't blame them for having that mindset, but that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to be happy about it. I'm not worried about Microsoft, and their $1 trillion. What I'm worried about is the Xbox division and how they're going to pursue console gaming and how they're going to continue to help it remain relevant and push for it to be more successful. But instead, they're over here talking about making Project Xcloud exclusive games. You got to be kidding me. Like, you have to be kidding me. I'm expecting some type of clarification here, because even the people at Xbox need to be able to see the hypocrisy in this, right? I mean, a lot of Xbox fans, a lot of people who are very much against me and my opinions and my perspective and the things I have to say, they come out here all the time and they tell me that I'm against getting good deals. I'm against pro-consumer moves. I'm against this and I'm against that. Please tell me, please enlighten me. What would be so pro-consumer about Project Xcloud exclusive games? Okay? Can somebody tell me why that would be pro-consumer? Listen, I'm not even saying what Microsoft needs to do is be more pro-consumer. I'm not even saying that. I mean, it's always nice when they are. It's nice when Sony does pro-consumer moves. But I understand the importance of exclusives, and clearly Microsoft still understands, if this comment is something that they truly meant and they're going to stick by, clearly they still understand the importance of exclusives, to the point where now they're more focused on having those exclusives, not for their Xbox console, not for anything else other than their Project Xcloud streaming service. I mean, you got to be kidding me here. I don't necessarily know how this would even work, right? Like, if you're somebody who owns an Xbox and they make, exclusives for Xcloud, does this mean that you can't play it on Xbox unless you're streaming it through Xcloud from your Xbox? Like, this is where they need to be clear about what they're saying, because maybe this is just being, misinterpreted. Maybe what he meant is that they're going to have games that launch on the Xbox ecosystem that will release on Xbox console and PC as well, but they'll just be on Xcloud, in terms of streaming, and not on PlayStation Now, obviously, not on Google Stadia. Maybe that's what he meant, and I want to believe that's what he meant. But, I mean, this is a pretty direct quote where, like, Xcloud exclusive games. He should have been more clear. Like, what does this mean? Like, literally, like, I don't know any other way around it. What else do you get from hearing Xcloud exclusive games? To me, that sounds like games that are developed just with the cloud in mind and will only be released on the Xcloud streaming service, not on anything else. So, I don't know, guys. Like, this is just where I have to point this stuff out. A lot of people tell me, and I'm going to end the video here, but it's just something I got to get off my chest. I saved it for the end of the video this time, not the beginning, so you can click off if you don't want to hear it. I get so much flack in the comments. I get a lot of people telling me that they call me names. They think because I still take time here to talk about Xbox, and because I'm a little bit negative, I'm more pessimistic, I'm, glass half empty kind of guy when it comes to Xbox these days, that I just shouldn't talk about it, and I shouldn't either be allowed to talk about it, or that there's something wrong with me because I continue to talk about it. Guys, listen, I'm going to talk about it when I feel like talking about it. I can admit there are times I get a little bit worked up and a little bit overly emotional, which is, it's a little bit ridiculous at times. I understand that, but I can't help but be passionate about these things. I grew up with Xbox just like I did with PlayStation and Nintendo to a certain extent, and I do care about it. And as I get older and I see like the direction the company's going in and where they're doing things like this, it's just, it makes me question, again, the future of gaming. And as somebody who's very passionate about gaming and gaming a very specific way, I just hope that the way I like to game is something that is preserved and is still relevant. And hearing that Microsoft wants to make Project Xcloud exclusive games, that sounds like a surefire way to get as far away from that as they can. So, yeah, That's it, guys. That does it for the video. I am really starting to ramble here, so let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Try to keep it clean. I know, a lot of people think I make these videos just because I want to incite a console war, but that's not really it. Like, this time I'm genuinely, like, literally, like, even Xbox fans, I need to know what your thoughts are on this, because I'm sitting here like, there's no way. There's no way, right? Like, there's just no way they could actually say this in front of their actual Xbox console fans. How could they do that? And how could the Xbox console fans be okay with this? I'm genuinely wondering. So leave your thoughts down below. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it, if you found it informative, or if you enjoyed my commentary. It really helps it out. Lets me know you guys are enjoying the content. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.